This message comes from NPR sponsor Paramount Plus and the new original series, The Madison. Taylor Sheridan's most intimate story yet. The Madison follows a family raised in a world of digital distraction, forced by tragedy to truly see one another and come together. Starring Michelle Pfeiffer and Kurt Russell. The Madison. New series streaming now, only on Paramount Plus.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
ICE agents at airports assisting TSA, at least in Atlanta, Georgia. President Trump beating Democrats at their own game yet again. A 25-year-old Chicago man, an illegal, under arrest and facing a murder charge in the death of a Westchester County, New York, 18-year-old freshman who was killed near the college she attended, only 2 months away from finishing her freshman year. 18-year-old Sheridan Gorman, who grew up in Yorktown Heights, was shot in the head while walking with friends near a beach close to campus. But of course, we're starting with the deadly LaGuardia Airport crash as the plane, the Air Canada aircraft, collided with a fire truck. And the air traffic controller, audio capturing moments before the fatal collision where he says, quote, "I messed up."
Truck 1 and Company, LaGuardia Tower, requesting to cross 4 at Delta.
Truck 1 and Company, cross 4 at Delta.
Truck 1 and Company, crossing 4 at Delta.
Frontier 4195, just stop there, please. Stop, Truck 1, stop. Stop, Truck 1, stop. Stop, Truck 1, stop. Delta 2603, go around, runway heading 2000. Jet 646. Jet 646, I see you collide with a vehicle here, just hold position, I know you can't move. The vehicles are responding to you now.
Is the runway closed?
Delta 2603, go around, runway heading 2000.
Heading 2000, go around, Delta 2603.
Tower.
Truck 2, runway 4 is closed, correct?
Yes, go on to runway 4 now. Proceed on runway 4, you have access. Frontier 4195, I got the word that we're going to be closed for a little while. If you want prepared to return to the ramp, let me know.
Yeah, we got stuff in progress for that, man. That wasn't good to watch.
Yeah, I know I was here. I tried to reach out to my stuff, and we were dealing with an emergency earlier, and I messed up.
No, man, you did the best you could.
I messed up. No, man, you did the best you could. Scapegoating. Already scapegoating this air traffic controller. I don't understand. I really don't get it, folks. Why these towers can't, with air traffic controllers, why in the United States of America they can't be properly staffed. I don't get it. We have all the money in the world for illegals. Poof. It comes out of nowhere when it comes to illegals, but not for us. Our politicians bend over backwards for illegals, but not for us. And here we have it. We're about to start with your calls. We see all your calls coming in from Baltimore, Maryland to New Jersey to the Bronx. We'll get to your calls momentarily. 800-848-9222. Horrible, horrible situation. A flight attendant, an Air Canada flight attendant, was in her seat strapped the way she should be, the seatbelt, and was ejected during the deadly crash. I am coming right back to that in just 1 second. Coming right back to it in just 1 second. But let's switch gears. Looking at my Twitter, at my ex, Donna Marie in Philly says another young woman murdered by an illegal at Loyola in Chicago. Legacy media is silent. Donna Marie in Philly goes on to say, how many more must die at the hands of non-citizens? Donna Marie in Philly, you're correct. This from the local affiliate, NBC Channel 4, here in New York City.
New tonight, an arrest in the shooting death of a Loyola University student from Westchester County. 18-year-old Sheridan Gorman was killed Thursday in Chicago. Federal officials believe the man responsible is a 25-year-old from Venezuela with a criminal history. News 4's Axel Tercios is live in our newsroom. And Axel, we understand that Gorman's family released a statement just moments ago.
Jen, that was just in the last 15 minutes, and the Sheridan Gorman's family is blaming the policies that allowed a man with criminal history to be out on the streets. DHS says the suspect is 25-year-old Jose Medina, who had prior arrests.
And so that's the situation. 18 years old, and her family is planning a funeral now because some savage was allowed into the country that had no business being here. And that's what they are. Oh, Dominic, how can you say that? Because what else would you call them? Not all, but a good number, as Trump says. 800-848-9222. I'm about to begin with your calls, but first, one of the passengers on that Air Canada flight describing what it was like.
When we landed, everyone felt it. It just like the plane like jolted, and you heard the pilot try to brake like he was trying to prevent the collision that occurred. A couple seconds later, it was just a very loud boom, and everybody just jolted out of their seats. People hit their heads. People were bleeding. So I'm asking everyone around me if they're okay. And then one of the passengers screamed to me like, please open the exit door. And I was like, of course. A lot of people slid off of the wing of the plane, getting out. And then by the time I got out, there was emergency personnel and someone was able to assist me sliding off of the wing. They had us standing next to an emergency vehicle, and that's when we were able to see the extensive damage of the plane. Breathing is a little painful. I feel bruising from the seatbelt that I had on just from the impact and the seatbelt being just on my skin. I would have never pictured a 1-hour flight that I've done countless times because I have family that lives in Montreal ending like this.
800-848-9222. I don't understand, folks. I just don't get it. What is so hard to make sure that these air traffic controllers are arrested, that you have an ample amount that's needed? It's not just pressure on one person. What is so hard with supplying this job? It's not a problem when you spend money on illegals. It's only when it comes to Americans. And we saw what happened in D.C. How many times are we going to take this gamble? I travel a lot myself. I look at air travel. This is the way I rationalize it in my mind. I say, well, I'm just taking the D train from 125th Street in Harlem down to 59th Street, which only takes, it's a great way to travel on the subway. It only takes 3 minutes if you're not interrupted by somebody taking off their clothes and homeless, someone defecating on themselves, someone urinating on themselves, or some entertainer that thinks that you want to give them their money when they have zero amount of ability, playing that loud music, wasting everybody's time. So if you can get around all of that, then, the D train from 125th to 59th is a nice ride. And so whether I'm on the red eye coming back from Utah, having delivered a speech and got to get back to New York City by the morning, whether I'm in Wyoming, no matter where I am, I look at air travel as taking the D train from 125th to 59th Street. And, call me nuts, folks, but I look at it this way. It's in God's hands. Because these days, it's not even in the pilot's hands. 2 pilots. If you have an air traffic controller where it's just not meshing correctly, or you're on the wrong channel communicating, it can be an absolute disaster. Look at what happened in D.C. Look, and how many years were they warned in advance of the potential for something deadly to happen? So I just look at it as, if my time is up, my time is up. I ran a good race. Folks, I'll see you when I see you in the afterlife. That's the way I look at it. But that's not the way it should be. Not in America. Let's go to Black, Baltimore, Maryland, line 4. What's on your mind, sir?
Yeah, Dominic. I don't. It seems to me like you're blaming the controller more.
You're in a bad phone line, and you clearly don't know what you're talking about. Because you didn't hear me say that the controller's being scapegoat. You want to hear what you want to hear. You didn't hear me say that the air traffic controller is clearly being scapegoated.
Yeah, I didn't hear you say that, Dom.
But your phone, something's wrong with your phone. I'm gonna try one more time. I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you hear me, Dominic?
I hear you now. Please get to your point. You're slowing up the show, sir.
Yeah, I believe that the truck driver, clearly he was incompetent. You hear him on the line. He's pausing. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And I think that he didn't go fast enough, and that's why he hit the plane.
Okay, but where do you get that I'm blaming the air traffic controller? In your mind, where did that come from?
Well, I understand you complain about the lack of funds being allocated toward the traffic controller.
I have no idea what you're talking about. The last time, where in your mind did you get I'm blaming the air traffic controller?
Yeah, you were talking about the funds being given out.
Right? That means you need more money to help these guys and girls do their job. Okay, your phone, there's something wrong with your phone. Thank you for the call. Let's see here. Let's go to Pete in the Bronx, line 2. Pete, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic. I just wanted to say, as somebody who's been in the federal government for a long time, you see a lot of these problems because the federal government relies on low bid. They pay cheap for what they buy, and you know what happens when you buy cheap. And I know this is more of a people issue, but look at what the technology that they failed in Newark last summer when they had all of those issues at Newark Airport. It's simple technology that they consistently buy cheap, and that's what we get.
Right, but we're talking about human life. And, I mean, we have 2 pilots that are gone because of a mishaps, whatever term we want to use to describe this. I don't understand. I really don't, Pete, how you can spend all of our money on these illegals that don't belong here. And then when it comes time to Americans, we don't have it in the budget. I'm sorry. 15 of you died in D.C., 60, whatever. We'll go to a prayer service, whatever. We'll get on to it next. I don't understand. Why do you keep taking our money, giving it to these illegals when there are services that we need in America? 800-848-9222.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Major development, President Trump taking to Truth Social, not only to say there are very good and productive conversations taking place between the United States and Iran, but he goes on to say he's ordered the Department of War to postpone for at least 5 days strikes against Iran's energy and power infrastructure. This comes after the president issued that ultimatum over the weekend about opening the Strait of Hormuz. We don't have any additional information at this point into the president's thinking about this, but this is a president who...
And that's from the Fox News channel. As I say often, this is a president, unlike Biden, that's always playing chess, not checkers. Dominic Carter here with you. Let's go back to your telephone calls. Line 4, Eduardo, Tampa, Florida. What's on your mind, sir?
Yeah, good afternoon, Dominic. I used to be a guardian angel in that neighborhood. It's Rogers Park. Very bad neighborhood.
Wait. You're not giving us any, what are you talking about? You're not giving us any context.
Okay. Well,
you said Rogers. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. Let me start over and do this a different way. Right now, we should be protesting, at least the residents of Chicago should be protesting outside the office.
So you're talking about the young lady that was killed, that's from Westchester. You got to say these things, although you can't just go on with your point if we can't follow you. You're talking about the young lady that was shot in the head from Westchester County, New York, killed at her college in Chicago. Is that what you're talking about?
Right.
Okay,
right,
go
in
ahead.
the neighborhood of Rogers Park.
Okay, well, we have no idea what you're talking about if you don't say it. Go ahead.
Okay, so we should be protesting, the residents of Chicago at least, should be protesting outside the offices and home of Governor Pritzker and Brandon Johnson, because this is not the first time. And some of the people on the radio I've been hearing last week are saying, oh, this is because Abbott and DeSantis bust people up north. That's absolutely incorrect.
Well, anybody that's saying that it is a fool. That is because of Abbott. Abbott did a good job at beating Eric Adams. Notice, and thank you for the telephone call. Notice, folks, Governor Abbott is still in office. Mayor Adams is not. Abbott beat Adams at a game of, you liberals talk all that nonsense about dealing with migrants. Well, here, catch this hot potato coming your way. I'm busing them to New York. And it was the beginning of the end for the last mayor of New York City. But we've gone from bad to worse, because now we have Mamdani. And all he wants to talk about is Islamophobia. He's a victim. He wants to talk about that, or he wants to meet with people he's not supposed to meet with, or he wants to have Ramadan celebrations in places where he's not supposed to have them, mixing church and state. Let's go to Marco, line 2. New Jersey. What's on your mind, Marco?
Yeah, you were one of the ones that said when Charlie Kirk was murdered that anybody that's celebrating that should be fired from their job, should be terminated. But Trump could say, oh, I'm glad that guy is dead. But you say nothing. You're a hypocrite. That's what I hear. You're a hypocrite. And can I say one more thing?
Marco, if we were in the street, I would say your mother is a hypocrite if we were in the street. But I'm not going to say that. But that's what I would say. And Marco, I have a funny feeling that your bark is a whole lot bigger than your bite. Because where I'm from, you just don't talk garbage like that. Okay? I know you're a keyboard warrior and all that nonsense. But anyway, if you had any brains, you would know we discussed that situation last night, midnight, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. What are you talking about?
You're going to let me say one more thing now. I already said that.
Quickly.
Yeah, and as far as the money for the illegal immigrants, are you talking about the money that they wanted to give, every immigrant like $1,000 or $3,000 if you left voluntarily?
No, I'm talking about the money where your friends, people it sounds like that you support, they've pimped Americans. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about having 8, 9, 10 babies, all the food you can eat, staying in some of the nicest hotels, all courtesy of taxpayers. That's what I'm talking about.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Breaking news.
And speaking at LaGuardia Airport right now, the Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, Mayor Mamdani, and other officials. Let's join in.
Send our deepest condolences to their families as they're going through, no doubt, a grieving process. There were 2 individuals in the fire truck. They too were sent to the hospital after the crash. Now, there's going to be a lot of questions, I know, about what do we know at this time. And what we are going to do is give you the information that we can. We all have the respect for the NTSB. The NTSB goes through a thorough investigation. And we are conscious about the information and the facts that we give you because we want that information to be accurate. There's some information that we hold back that the NTSB has that we allow them to do the investigation, and it takes months, sometimes up to a year before we get the findings of that investigation. But NTSB is on the ground at the airport. The FAA is on the ground. Over 10 people from the FAA are here, as well as Transport Canada is sending a team to LaGuardia as well. Our 2 countries work very well together. There's a well-worn path where we collaborate together when there's aviation crashes in either of our countries. The administrator and I were at the crash site earlier today, which is easily visible.
Okay, the Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy speaking at this hour at LaGuardia Airport, surrounded by officials and Mayor Mamdani. We're monitoring that event. So I mentioned Mamdani, and we're going back to your telephone calls. But of course, as I mentioned, you say good morning, Mr. Mayor. He says Islamophobia. You say good afternoon, Mr. Mayor. He says Islamophobia. You say what's for an afternoon snack? The mayor of New York, in this interview with PBS, says Islamophobia. And the reporter doing it, it's really sad what's going on these days, folks. These are not reporters. This woman clearly shares his agenda. She was from PBS. I don't know if I don't know. But Mamdani, Islamophobia.
I think anyone who grew up post 9/11 knows that anti-Muslim bigotry isn't anything new here. But to you, does it seem like there's something different or something new this time?
I think there's an unabashed nature to it, and it is being echoed from the highest offices in this country. They do so without any sense of shame. And what is remarkable about Islamophobia and anti-Muslim bigotry is not that it is bigoted, for there is so much bigotry in this country. It is that there are very few who speak up in opposition to it, the manner in which it has become normalized. And it is not exclusive to any one political party. It is endemic, frankly, to our politics. And what this kind of bigotry shows is a complete erasure of the million or so Muslims who call the city home, whose identity has often been one that they are made to feel as if is in tension with being a New Yorker. When, as I grew up here, I understood, and so many others did, that there is no tension in those identities. They can be one and the same.
So that's from PBS. And the reporter, she might as well should have said, Mr. Mayor, why don't you tell us why Islamophobia is so bad as it is? That's what she might as well should have said to the mayor. Let's go back to your telephone calls. Alan, line 4, Orange County, New York. What's on your mind, Alan?
Yes, Dominic. Happy to be on again. It's been a while.
Okay, thank you. What's on your mind?
With regards to this murder of the college student, I think that if there's a way, or even if there isn't a way, the family should bring a lawsuit against the mayor of Chicago, the governor of Illinois, and anyone else that may have something to do with the release of the illegal migrant, the judge perhaps. And it might not go anywhere, but at the very least, it'll bring attention.
But you're right. At the very least, it's attention, but they've all indemnified themselves. The judge, forget it. You can't sue the judge. This mayor, I don't know. I think he was a teacher. Where did they get this clown from? This guy, I mean, and I almost said he should go to another country and be mayor there, but they're not going to tolerate what Brandon Johnson does. And this guy doesn't represent his own constituents. And, it's just horrible. Just think about this, folks. Your daughter's 18 years old. You worry as a parent. You got her this far. You send her off to college in Chicago. You're scared to death, but she's a young lady, so you trust in her. And what does she do? Does she bother anybody? No, she's walking along the beach with friends. And some savage, dressed in all black, decides to fire a gun, and she gets hit in the head. And just like I'm thinking about that, we're now illegals in Queens. They're literally cooking guinea pigs on the street. Now, if you like to eat guinea pigs, cool. That's your thing, cool. But cooking them on the street, literally. Thank you so much for the call, Alan. Let's go to Linda, line 1, New Jersey. What's on your mind, Linda?
Hi, Dominic. I would like to say that Mamdani said that he is afraid that people will be attacked for being Muslim, but that's a false straw man. It is actually the Muslim Islamists that are attacking Americans. We have had 9/11, the Boston bombing, and many other murders and crimes by these people. And many times the media have redacted the criminal's first name if it was Muhammad. Notre Dame in France was there for like 200 years until the Muslims got there. And then suddenly, just by chance, it burns down twice. I'm not buying it. And I would also say, like, the rape of Birmingham children in England by Pakistani Muslim gangs with this gang raping of little children has been outrageous. And there is no room for Islam in the West. There just isn't.
Well, Linda, thank you for the call. I'm not going to go that far, but I am going to say I don't want to hear about this every day. You didn't do this as a candidate, Slick Mamdani. So why are you doing it now? Let's go to our friend Gracie, who is in Cali. Going back to Cali, California. Gracie, what's on your mind?
Hi, what's on my mind is this. I'm so annoyed. I think parents should encourage their children not to go to college in these dangerous cities, Chicago, New York, and other dangerous cities. I really mean it. Now people are going to say, oh, she's a nut job. No, I really mean it. It is very dangerous to let your children go there.
I agree with you, Gracie. I really do. And I'm thinking back. I'm going to come back to you in a second. I'm thinking about when it was time for my daughter to go to graduate school to get her master's degree. So we had to have a compromise, right? So after chopping off my left arm for her mom and I to pay for her to go to Syracuse University undergrad, and we were lucky. I think at the time room and board was $50,000 a year for her to go to Syracuse, right? So for her to party at night and go to class in the day. Dad, why did you say that? Because it's the truth. Okay, so now she goes to Syracuse. So now she, wants to get a master's degree, right? She's smart like her mama. So I'm like, okay, we got to have a compromise on this with the money. And at the time, the CUNY journalism school was just starting, and you could get a master's degree. It didn't include room and board. You can get a master's degree at that time. I don't know what it is now. And wait, Mamdani is speaking. Mamdani is speaking right now. I don't know if we still have the audio. I really wanted to hear what he had to say. We're trying to get it back up. Just bear with us 1 second. So Gracie, just stand by. So I said to her, okay, you'll go to the CUNY journalism school. It was about $10,000. And, but there was a compromise because I said, okay, wait, I'm going to come back. Gracie, stand by. Let's go to the mayor of New York at this news conference.
Good afternoon. I want to begin by echoing the words that have been shared before me and also by thanking our partners in city, state, and federal government who are here today. As has been shared, late last night, a Jazz Aviation flight operating on behalf of Air Canada struck a Port Authority aircraft rescue and firefighting vehicle on runway 4 at LaGuardia Airport. Both pilots of the aircraft were killed in the crash. And I echo the words of the governor and those who spoke before in sending our deepest condolences to the families.
Okay, Mamdani's not really saying anything as of yet. Governor Hochul was at the news conference. So Gracie, the point I'm trying to make is I agree with you because I said to mom and daughter, and at the time, what was that show on HBO about the girlfriends? What's the name of that show? The Girlfriends. They made like 3 movies about it. Sex in the City. So at the time, Sex in the City was out. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't even want to think about my daughter having sex. Oh, that's too much information there. But anyway, so fathers, Gracie, we go boop and we erase that part, right? So I said, okay, you can go to the CUNY journalism school, but you have to live in Riverdale. It's the only way that we'll approve of this is if we know you live in a safe community. And she did. And so everything worked out. But Gracie, so you say that the kids should not go to college. Well, what about New York University then?
Well, you want to know something that's dangerous also. All right, maybe people who live, I know I'm being very extreme, but really these dangerous cities have to do something. And as far as maybe I wouldn't think that much with Mamdani, but not this little speech he gave, but the one before with the public radio station interview. He's causing difficulty. He's making everybody get riotous. I mean, if you are an anti-Muslim, you listen to that and your horns go up. I'm sorry. So I'm tying two things in. Parents have to be very careful where they allow their children to go, and they have to explain to the children, because young people think they're invincible, but they're not invincible. And I know things do happen, but really, I would never go to Chicago.
I hear you, Gracie. Thank you for the great call. So, folks, yesterday, my grandkids were down from Rhode Island. My grandson, his birthday. So his mom took him and my son to see the New York Knicks play. And we had our granddaughter, and my granddaughter is very active. Oh my God, this girl is fast. Grandpa, play tag with me. Eva, Grandpa's got to get ready for work. Grandpa, you got to play tag with me. So Eva, okay, help me get the firewood. So she helps me and her grandmother get the firewood. We do this like 5 or 6 times. I let her put the wood into the fireplace, scared to death, because if she touches something hot, I'm in a world of trouble. And, so when she's old enough to go to college and my grandson's old enough to go to college, here's the bottom line to pick up on Gracie's point. Grandpa will be paying the bills. You will not be going to college in an urban area. It's just not going to happen. Not on my watch. Not the way crime is these days. Let's go to Donald in Astoria, Queens, line 5. Donald, what's on your mind?
Yes, Dominic, thank you for taking the call again with me like you did the last time. I want to make 2 statements.
No. Wait. Let me say this, Donald. Just say what you have to say. Whenever people start by saying you want to make 2 or 3 statements, it's an immediate turnoff, and it's an immediate raising of my guard. So just get to the point. Go ahead, please.
I feel, and I know, that part of the DHS slowdown by the Democrats part of it is they want illegal aliens to have lifetime Medicaid insurance, and that's part of it. I know because
that's not part of TSA. What was your other point? What's your other point?
DHS, yeah.
You said DHS. Are you talking about I don't understand what you're talking about, Donald. Are you saying DSA, the socialists, or are you saying TSA at the airport? I don't know which one you're talking about.
DHS.
Which one are you? Just please tell me which one you're talking about.
About the shutdown.
Okay, you're talking about TSA. Okay.
TSA, yeah. Part of that they're doing that, the Democrats, is because they want a deal to make illegal aliens.
Right, you already said that. Donald, thank you for the call. Folks, please pardon me while I bang my head on this table. It is time for a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation final thought of the day. Democrats, you thought you had President Trump yet again. Haven't you learned by now that he's playing chess and you're stuck on checkers? You thought that you had him behind the 8 ball by non-funding of TSA. They're not being paid, basically shutting down transportation close to it. And then the president says, bam, I got one for you. I'm going to bring in the one agency that you are scared to death of. ICE, baby. The president, beating the Democrats at their own game. I'm looking at my Twitter at my ex, Liz Rosenblatt, says, I'm with Gracie. Parents and kids have many choices. Stay away from dangerous cities. And maybe when the student bodies in these colleges are null and none, perhaps then they will make safety changes. I got a bone to pick with you, Carlos, and your boy Philippe. Look at my hands. I haven't had a pen explode on me in years. And now there's black ink all over my hands. You supposed to pick this stuff up in advance and help me out. Don't laugh. Let's go back to some of the telephone calls. I'm a glutton for punishment today, so here goes. Melvin in the Bronx, line 3. Melvin, I'm taking your call. Don't dare start lecturing me about anything history-wise. Go ahead.
About the tragedy at the airport. This mess is going to happen again until the federal government and the people wake up. And, of course, at this country, can rebuild Europe and Japan after World War II. They can invest invest in the safeguard of the voting taxpaying system of the United States. Because number one, when Reagan fired air traffic controllers after Ed Cox fired the school crossing guard, it is ridiculous because the money is there. It's all about union busting. That's all they want to do, about who's in charge, who's in control.
You were doing so good. You were doing so good, and then you got to go there, Melvin. Melvin, thank you for the call. Melvin, so like growing up, I used to watch Red Fox, Sanford and Son. Melvin made sense for the first 30 seconds, and I feel like saying, Elizabeth, honey, the big one is coming. I'm about to have a heart attack. I'm coming to join you, honey. I think that's what Red Fox did. Because of you, Carlos, and you, Philippe, I've got black ink all over my hands. All over my hands. You guys are supposed to have my back. Let's go to Tom, Long Island, line 5. Tom, what's on your mind?
Mr. Carter, thank you very much for taking my call. I just have one thing to say about maybe what might have happened at the runway during that prior moments. This emergency vehicle is waiting for clearance to go to an emergency. I'm sure they have probably another band that their emergency partners are on. Once they got the clearance, since he didn't hear, stop, there's a possibility they might have switched bands to let them know, I'm on my way. And that's why he didn't hear, stop. I'm not saying that's possibly happening, but there's a good possibility. Because I know working on Long Island airports out here, MacArthur, Republic, even Kabreski, you don't cross that tower unless you are clear. And if you get the clearance and you see an incoming plane, you do not cross.
Right. Tom, thank you for the great call. You made some great points there. Let's go to Anna in Chicago, Illinois, line 3. Anna, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic. Look, I know you keep saying that President Trump is playing chess, and he sure is. But they're not playing checkers. They're playing hopscotch on the sidewalk with all the chalk. They don't even know how to play checkers, Dominic.
I like that, Anna. That's good. That's really good. Yeah, it does seem that way. You know, they thought that they were really sticking it to Trump, sticking it to America. He goes, oh, you don't like ICE? They're coming to an airport near you. I mean, duh, you didn't see that coming, Democrats. Anna, thank you for the wonderful call. Let's go to Ray in Putnam County. Line 4, Ray, what's on your mind?
Dominic, regarding the student that was murdered in Chicago from Yorktown Heights in Westchester, this past weekend they had a rally, for the two people. I'm not going to mention their names.
No, we got 20 seconds, Ray. You got to get to the point.
That died because of ICE. And now you don't hear anything from these morons.
Right. They're absolute morons. Ray, I'm sorry. I'm just completely out of time. Folks, America's heroes need your help now. Do good in their honor by donating $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers, and you can amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to T2T.org. T2T.org. And I will be back live at midnight.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?